we're just gonna give this to you guys because because I believe in coaches. I believe in this industry. I believe that coaching is a calling in this world. And if you have that calling, if it is in your heart and you have a vision to make a difference and an impact with people, then you are in the right place. And I'm here to give you what you need to be able to do that. I know that is Chad's vision too. So Chad and I have been in business for 6, 7 beautiful years together.
Mhm.
And it has been a journey and an adventure. We've learned what to do, we've learned what not to do. And so we're here to just share our wisdom with you guys. And ultimately, like, we're out for you to be able to package your genius, right? Because each and every single one of you guys, you have something that makes you unique. It's something that's different. The thing that doesn't work about, following all the gurus and doing all of the things is they want to put you in this box, but you don't fit in a box. And I found that the more times you try to put yourself in a box and do the right thing, it ends up being like not the right thing. Because ultimately the right thing is being you and being your genius. And how do you take all of these modalities and all of the things that you do and really create something unique and something that is your own? So with that,
Awesome. Let's get started. So, this is gonna be around an hour, and we'll do our best. So if it runs a little bit over, you guys forgive us. Forgive Grace. Any great Grace? Okay, good.
okay, perfect.
All right. And who is this for? So this is for somebody that is called to make a deep impact in the world. This is for somebody, a coach that has helped people. Has everybody helped somebody get some sort of result? Everybody got, okay, good. Just checking in. Um, who it's not for is somebody that is just out to make money and like don't care about the results that you could get, people that you're here just to like get over on people. That's not who this is for. If that's you, stop watching this recording, go away. This isn't for
Get
you.
off live.
Yeah.
And we can make money and make impact. Would that be okay with you guys if I showed you how to do both?
Awesome.
Because we're in business for a reason, right? Awesome. We can have it all.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do the abridged version of our story in the shortest amount of time. Is everybody cool? Like, I'm just curious, who here has been to some of our trainings before?
I see a couple familiar faces.
Don, definitely. Lauren, Michael, definitely. Who's never been to any of our stuff? Who's new? Steve, I mean, you've seen replays at least. So here for the impact. Love it, love it.
Awesome.
Oh, I guess that's the thing. We feed off of interaction. We can do better if you interact. So drop a comment. We want to know, to start off with where are you from, and who are your ideal clients, and what's the results that you help them get. And you might not know exactly what that is. Just do your best. Um, hey Maria, welcome.
Nashville, what's up?
What's up?
I will say too, Charlie is with us. So Charlie is our CCO. She's our Chief Cuteness Officer. We are all about the family here. So she's in the back. So I may once in a while, if you see me leaning down or something, it's just to make sure that our little girl is all taken care of because it's just us and that's what we do. So if you guys are family people, hey, by all means, bring your fam, bring your kids. They can totally color next to you. We're all for it. It's not a distraction to us whatsoever. So.
The best thing ever was we had a nanny that cleaned the house, and either we were too much to take, too much to handle, and she faked a really interesting story of her going to a concert and breaking her leg in a mosh pit, or she actually broke her leg in a mosh pit. I'm not sure which.
Either way, she was amazing and send her all the love.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get going because really we're not here to give you fluff. Like we want you to get results. As we were creating this, I particularly said like, how can we make this something different than we've ever done that you guys are actually leaving with some tangible things for you to do and do. We're gonna go ahead and mute you with all the love. And so ultimately we want to absolutely blow your mind so that you're like, oh my gosh, they're giving away so much for free. What is it? Could it possibly like be working with them? Would that be fair enough? Cool. Let's get started. Don, I don't know if that's a picture of you or you're just like in a really great mood tonight.
He just switches.
It is. That's awesome.
Okay, good. All right. So our story, we worked together running an agency for a bit. We started to have some success. We went nomadic and we found ourselves with no dollars. In the sense of like we were doing pretty good. And then we're like, hey, let's go nomadic and just go from resort to resort, Airbnb to Airbnb, B&B, and we ran out of money. Luckily, it was in Florida, and so it was a nice place to be almost homeless. And we called our accountant, and we're like, "Hey, we're out of money." And she's like, "Hey, come stay with me." And we're like, "How long?" And she's like, "As long as needed." And I'm like, okay. And so we showed up and she kicked her grandson to the couch and we got her grandson's bedroom. If you think of 13-year-old with a smelly bedroom with a bunch of whatever he got going on in there, and it became that's where we lived for 2 months or so. And I remember it's like we went down there and we'd already paid to go to an event, and the event was all about integrity. It was interesting. We went to this event, and one of the things they just went on and on and on about was being your word, being in integrity, and it was all about
Word is your
not,
power.
yeah, getting your power back, right? And it's like we lose our power when we're out of integrity, not integrity as morality or as something's wrong. It's just not doing what you said you were going to do. And we were at a place in our life where there was people we owed money to, me more than the other half. And there was banks, there was credit cards, there was all kinds of things. And one of the things they said was to make a list of all the places that we are out of integrity and get into communication. So it's like getting into communication with the places that we owed the money and just saying, hey, I don't have the money now, but as soon as I do have it, we'll set up a plan to get this paid off. And will that work? Yes, that works. And because they had no other options. And so we created that into the world. That gave us our power back. And we literally started making in the next 5 days, started making $1,000 and then $2,000 and then maybe a $3,000. And then we had one of our clients call us and say, hey, I have somebody here. Could you we're doing done for you funnels, right? Done for you sales systems for business owners, everyone. And she's like, I have so-and-so here. She needs a funnel and a website and this and that. Could you do it for $12,000? Like, I think we can make that work. And so she wired the money over, and we're like, holy crap, this is amazing. And then another $10,000 sale comes in. And then we end up doing almost $40,000 that month. And everything seemed amazing. And
You guys are all ready to go do an integrity list now, huh?
yeah, right. And then I remember Holly leaning against a wall while she's so she's doing sales in another, like, a job that she needed to get to just start paying the bills. She's filling like building these funnels, and also just dealing with life of living in a 13-year-old's bedroom. And I remember her
Didn't go over so good.
leaning against a wall and just sliding down the wall and falling to the ground and starting to seize. And I didn't know what the hell was going on. And so we called 911. I remember going to the hospital, to the emergency room, and then basically saying we're like druggies and we're just trying to get drugs from the hospital and all this stuff. And they just gave her electrolyte, a saline solution, and sent us on our way. And we're like, man, I don't want any more of that. Like being part of the normal medical system. And we're like, we're going to figure out how to do this holistically. So we're going to figure out this health stuff. And we were not the smartest people at the time. So we're like, let's go nomadic again and try to figure out this health stuff at the same time. And so we were like, let's add a bunch of stress to our plate and go live.
Lo and behold, that was the whole reason I was having them in the first place.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Go live on the beach. We paid back a bunch of people because we said we were going to, and we followed through on that. So it gave us even more power. And now we have more clients wanting to come to us, and it just created this cycle of like, holy crap, like I'm selling it, she's trying to fulfill on it, and it's just causing more and more havoc. And I remember in the whole thing, she's still having seizures. We're not, didn't get a handle on it. And we got invited by the client that referred us to this event. She said, hey, you should um, come sponsor this event. I can get you a deal on the sponsorship. You come, there's going to be a bunch of your ideal clients, blah, blah. We show up, and I remember one of the things that they said there, the guy that was running it, he said, do what you love in the service of people that love what you do. And that like changed our life forever. I remember realizing that, well, so the client that referred us was not our ideal client. She was a publicist. She was a great, like a good person. She was a referrer. That's great. If you guys want to refer, awesome. But she was way out for the money. She was way out for herself, not really out for the impact and making a difference with people. Didn't really care about any of that. But we had another client that that came and showed up, and we met at that event. And she was a neuro performance coach, and she was a badass. And she was running an awesome business, and she was really out for the impact. And it was like this duality, right? Of like seeing what you don't want and seeing what you do want. And we're like, holy crap, we want to work with this over here, this neuro performance coach. And we're like, let's do more of that. And I remember well, you want to talk about like you have the realization of like working with the people that you don't love to work with, and how that was part of causing the seizure?
It's not an alignment, right? Like, so when you have a calling, and that's why I'm so strong against, like, if you have a calling, I am here to make sure that you fulfill on that calling. Because how many of you know, if you have a calling and you're not doing it, it does something to you. Like, it physically starts to do something to you. It becomes this heaviness. It becomes this like literally dis-ease in your body. And that's what was happening. I was working with construction workers, making sales pages for knee pain doctors. Like, thank you for all the knee pain doctors out there. Not my purpose, not in alignment, did not excite me. I literally like had this vision and this calling and this dream in my heart. And instead I created this job and I hated it. I hated it, but the money was good. And like, I was doing that, like looking out, everyone was like, oh, well, you just made $40,000 a month. Like, what's wrong with you? And meanwhile, I'm doing all of the things that I hate. I know that I'm not in my purpose. I know that I'm not in alignment. I know that I'm out to be doing bigger things. And what started happening was the stress of that. Never mind all of the trauma of never, like, it was a big cluster of all of the things, right? This healing from my seizures and my brain trauma took me on a venture of ultimately healing my trauma, right? Because what was showing up in my life was actually all of the trauma that I'd gone through in my life that was just being suppressed, 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 suppressed. Oh, you have this vision, you're not important enough to do it. You got to do what everyone else wants you to do. Oh, you have all of these worthiness issues. Oh, you were taken advantage of. Like, all of these things started compounding until finally my brain literally exploded. There was no other choice but to heal. So in these, and I want to kind of shorten this up because I do want to make this we were like, we're going to do this in 2 minutes. So, through this process, I worked with a functional neurologist. We went through, it's called NET, so a neuro-emotional technique. I started really working and learning about the brain, the subconscious, the nervous system. I had a lot of disassociation that we worked through, and body mapping. I mean, I went 3 to 4 years it took me to fully recover from all of this. So I had one seizure that was like a big one. It lasted about 30-ish minutes, and it completely wiped out the pons region of my brain where a lot of your memories are stored. So we went through a whole journey. I want to like really brief.
I got it.
I just wanted to like brief
it
out because I wanted to give all the good
you're
stuff.
like brief and then go on a. Okay, so but I do want to talk about just the real quick of the reset. I remember walking in when Hallie was having this major seizure, and like when she came out of it, she said something that just like completely, my stomach just dropped, right? She's like, who are you? And like, where are we? Like, where are we was first. And she didn't know she had kids. She didn't know what we did for a living. She didn't any of that. And I remember just dealing with like kind of rebuilding from scratch, like who is she? And in this process, she was like, what do we do? Well, we do this. We help coaches and we help them grow their businesses and this stuff. And we're like, well, like, is this even what we should be doing? Like, she's questioning all this stuff. She posted on Facebook, like, have I ever helped you? Or like, is there anything I ever got? And like hundreds of people like were commenting on like how you made an impact with them. And she's like, I have to go forward with this, right? Like I have to continue doing this.
But we had to do it in a different way because the way that we were doing things didn't work.
Right.
So we actually shut down our agency and we started doing the coaching and we started like, okay, what can I do that isn't so like, we still do a very few done for you projects. You got to be a client for a while and I got to really be excited about the project. Otherwise I'm not doing it. Like those are just the boundaries that I have for done for you projects now. And ultimately the reason why we're sharing this all with you is because what started happening is when I'm like, okay, we got to start learning. Like I'm going to learn this all again. I'm going to dive in and go through all of this stuff. And I started like picking pieces of like, oh, well, this client, like they got really good results. This client didn't really get results at all. Well, this client, like it was okay. What was missing? And I started because I had no stories. I was very like in my logic brain and just like the conspiracy theory guy with like the strings attaching everywhere. It was literally how we created our entire model. We still to this day use this model. We bring all of our clients through this model and set up these pieces in it and exactly what is necessary to build a multiple six-figure coaching business and what things need to be put in place. So it was all of this to say, this is how our model was created. It wasn't just, hey, we watched a bunch of videos from some gurus and we put it together. Like, no, man, we've lived in the trenches for years of learning this and figuring out what worked and what didn't work, working with hundreds of people, interviewing hundreds of people to be able to share a lot of the things that we're going to share tonight.
Yeah, and so and over this whole training, so one of the things we're going to do today is teach you guys how to really attract this hot audience. So that's what you're going to learn today. Tomorrow is going to be about but this is the thing is we didn't have the delivery, right? We had to do everything was custom. Every client got a unique thing. I'm curious, who here is every client gets a unique thing? It's like everybody, yeah. So if you start getting like a huge flow of clients, that's gonna come back to like bite in the ass. And so we're gonna teach today how to get that flow of clients. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about how dealing with that bite in the ass. So let's get rolling.
More important, like not to get bit in the ass and how to package your genius, right? Because this whole next few days is all around packaging your genius and being able to put it together in a program. However, if we don't start with the audience and your people, you're never going to be like, you can't effectively create the program, right? So these next few days are going to compound with each other. So set like, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't care if you bring your dinner. I don't care if you bring your kids, like whatever you got to do to be here, because tomorrow we have a lot of exercises that we're going to do. We're going to be like, again, this is a working masterclass workshop-ish kind of thing. And then on day 3, we're going to create a high momentum negative stress launch. So now that you have your program, you got the audience, now what do you got to do to go out there and launch it? So with that, oh, we have some cool things too. I found this cute little hat. If you guys 50K by Christmas. So I found this hat and this is what I want to do with it. Every day that you guys show up, your name is going to go in this hat. So you're here tomorrow, you get another drawing. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you get another drawing. We're also going to email you a cool little image that if you share it in your social media and you tag Chad and you will also get your name in this cool little hat. On day 3, we are going to give an absolute drawing. We're not going to look, we're not going to do nothing and pull it out. And whoever gets their name pulled out is going to get something really cool that is valued at multiple hundreds, maybe thousands, depending on how well I feel that day. So you guys like, I hope Lily's in a good mood.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So we wanted to make this fun, do something different. So with that, why don't you get started? Let me help with her. So we're talking about the hot audience. And you-
Awesome. All right. So if you're like, hey, this sounds freaking amazing, and you're like, but I really just want the support. I need the accountability. I need the, like the hand holding through all of this. Let's book a call. I'm going to pretend like I'm dropping a link into the chat, but I don't have it handy. Let me see if I can do that and send it over to Holly real quick. And we can jump on for 15 minutes, just kind of see if this is aligned, to actually support you through it.
And while he's doing that, would you guys be interested in seeing just the like the whole picture, right? We talked about this model, and we're going to talk to you about how to create your audience. Tomorrow, we're going to talk to you about putting the program together. And then Wednesday, we're going to talk about the launch. But I think it's important if you see the model and see what everything that it's going to take for you guys to get to that, really reach that vision, whether it's 6 figures, whether it's multiple 6 figures. Ultimately, this will get you to multiple 6 figures and then start like getting a more strategic team, and there's something completely different that's going to get you to 7 figures.
Yeah, it is really easy to sell or try to sell something that's not a good fit for your people. All right, I'm going to share the screen. I guess you can't you can't get that link at the same time as
No.
hold your horse. If you're waiting to book a call, just hold your horses for 2 more minutes. All right, so
We're just gonna whiz through this real
did everybody
quick.
see the screen? Give me a yes down in the thing. Don't expect everybody else to say yes. You got to take responsibility for your yes.
We're leaders.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go through this real quick. We use this quite a bit, but this time we're just gonna show you all the things instead of having you like go deep
Curious,
dive into all of this.
who would be interested in having your own model where you could, use it to present your business and show people how you help them? Curious on that. All right. Right? Pretty dope.
All right. So what we know about you is that ultimately what it is that you want is to fulfill on your calling, right? Like you have this vision. It's been like, I have this leading, like ultimately that's what you're out for. Well, that is really tiny.
Really tiny.
So now to fulfill on that calling, there's really 3 things that go in this. One is having freedom, right? Being able to, like, you have this vision, you can't tell someone can't tell you like, this is what you got to do. I have to do this or this. Like, there's no have to, there's all get tos in this world. To be able to make an impact with people, to make a difference with people. Hold on 1 second, honey. I hear you. And oh, well, you're gonna have to wait just 1 moment. Apologies, guys. And then also to build the income and build the wealth, right? That's how we make a contribution. That's how we do all of the things. We can make a huge impact on our families, on our life, with a nonprofit. Like the world is a better place when you pay good people money. So how do we do this? Right? Well, there's really 3 things to be able to do this online. The first thing is to attract your audience and attract your people to you. The second thing is to enroll them, right? You can have all the audience in the world, but if you don't have an enrollment process, it's not going to matter. And then the third thing is what we refer to as capacity, being able to hold it all, especially as a coach, as you get these clients, as you're holding space for these clients, as you're growing and doing the marketing and the operations and the content. And if you're doing one-on-one and then you're creating new ideas, like there's a capacity that you get to expand so that you can hold and do all of these things without burning yourself out. So in order to attract people to you, first thing is the attraction or the impact marketing system, excuse me. The second thing is, so it's like really having a system of being able to talk to your people and bring them in. We're going to talk about this tonight and show you what that impact marketing system is. It's being able to create a movement. Like it's not just about like, here's your Facebook group. No, you are creating a movement of people who are all together in your mission and what it is that you're doing. You're having people join this mission. They become a part of your mission and it becomes bigger than who you are, right? And then amplify your audience. This is your visibility. This is like, how do you get out there to more people? Charlie, can you please hold on one moment? How do you get there to more people? How do you stay visible? How do you grow your impact in your audience? Now, in the enrollment piece, what you get to create, and we're going to be talking about this much more tomorrow, is the True North program, right? What sets you apart from everybody else? How do you create your program so that you don't burn out, but it can still hold a lot of people? Nobody feels like a number, and it provides a deep transformation with people. The next thing is, we're going through this really fast, and I acknowledge that, but we have a lot to cover tonight. So the empowered enrollment pathway. So this is having a pathway that allows you to enroll people in a way that is empowered. We don't do the salesy, we don't do the pushy, we don't do the FOMO, we don't do any of those things. If we do the FOMO, I'll just be authentic. It's not intentional. It's like really freaking cool.
Well,
Like,
it's that it's real,
it's
right?
real. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's an authentic thing.
yeah, it's like, hey, the program's starting at this date. You're gonna miss out on these bonuses, or these prices are gonna show up. But we're not gonna like change, say it, and then it not be a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's a real thing. So Steve, because you'll get the Soul Marketing Mastery event, and that has the bonus of
So get
how to
picked
create
apart
all this.
and
We get
putting
to
all this
edit
together.
that, yeah.
And then client success, right? You can get all the clients, you can build the audience, but if they are not having a result and you don't have a system put in place through your offer so that it is being delivered in a way that works for your clients and for you, you're not getting referrals or any of those things, and that's a problem. This next piece is capacity. So do you want to draw?
It's all you.
Okay, so capacity this is the nervous system regulation. I am not about to have anybody burn out like on my watch without regulate. Like, I know the nervous system, man. I've been there, studied it. It is being able to regulate my nervous system and have the tools to literally rewire, because everything is stored in your body, right? Like, every experience we've ever gone through, it's not just our subconscious, it's literally in our body and in our nervous system. So being able to rewire your nervous system and your subconscious. We have this next piece in capacity, we call it the unstoppable equation. So the unstoppable equation is ultimately, in order to get the results that you want, you get to have the skills, the work, and the focus. That's pretty common. Every business coach will tell you that. But what they don't talk about is what we refer to as allergies and addictions, right? We all have them in one capacity or another. If you are allergic to bees, you're going to stay away from bees. Well, if your nervous system is allergic to money, you're going to push away money, or every time money comes to you, like the washing machine broke, or the car broke, or something else broke, or a bill is over here, right? Any of you guys experienced that before? There's an allergy or an addiction to be able to, in all different capacities. The addiction side is, we get addicted to different patterns and different behaviors. So this could be, nothing ever working out for me, or how about a chaos? I think those are the easiest ones to explain, but you don't ever necessarily need to know your allergies and addictions. You just get to know that you have them and have a way to be able to clear them. And that's a big part of our work here. And then this third piece up here, this is the energetics, because energy matters. It just does. If the energy is off, if you're not in alignment, other people are going to be able to feel that. If you're not in your personal power, other people can be able to feel that. If you're feeling unsure about yourself, other people are going to be unsure about you. Like, that, it all matters. So this is ultimately the model that we created and we've refined over years of working with people, of like, okay, maybe we get to switch this up. This is really more optimized. So in this next few days, we're going to talk about the impact marketing system. We're going to talk a little bit about the movement, a little bit about the amplifying your audience, the True North program, and really unstoppable. And day 3 is going to be all of this. So we're really bringing all of this together. All right, so let's close this out, and I am going to.
I sent it over to you. If you grab the link.
Wow, Charlie, that's really good.
All right, so I'm curious on who's seen this model before, and who this is like for the first time. You're like, holy crap, that's pretty cool. or wow, that's uh do
Oh, no, 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 no. We're on a Mac, baby.
ah
All right, we're gonna drop this link and ultimately let's start talking about your hot audience because let's keep it real. You can't build an audience unless you know who your audience is, right? So there's a very different conversation of talking to a stay-at-home mother, and I'm just using this because my daughter's running around here. I'm gonna step away for a minute, and a mother who is running a business and out doing big things in the world. Two different conversations that you will have with them. So ultimately, through your content and what you create, you want to be so on it of speaking the unspoken truths of your ideal people that your audience is like, holy smokes, like they know me. It is so much more effective to, you could be at on a building and be like, hey, I could change your life. I can transform you. Everything will be different. Like, it's going to be great. Nobody's going to hear you. Like, nobody's going to listen to you. Right. But if you whisper, hey, mama, I know you're badass and you're dealing with a lot of stuff and trying to juggle all of it. I see you and I have a system that's going to help you so that you can sleep at night and you don't get overwhelmed. That mom's going to be like, what? Huh? Tell me more. Right. So we really want to know who your ideal people is. I'm going to hand this over to Chad to help you guys map that out.
yeah, and so there's another one. Who here has ever ran like you feel like you're speaking to people that they're like stuck in the mud, right? They're like not doing anything. They're just like they're still on the couch, right? They're still on the couch. So we've ran into this so many times. We talked about this at our Soul Message Mastery event, is that we don't want to convince people that are on the couch to get off the couch, right? So if you're on the couch and you're like in your coaching business, you're just like cool with the way it is. Like, I'm not here to sell you on like how this should be. Like, this could be so much amazinger, right? I just want to speak to people that are just like you have a burning thing inside of you that you're like, I need to make this work now. I'm freaking excited. This is freaking, I'm like ready to go, but I don't know how to do it. Like there's like a missing thing. There's like something like I don't know how to attract, I don't know how to enroll, or I don't know, like I can't handle it all, right? The capacity, right? It's like, I don't want to talk to the person that's like, I I'm still sleeping, right? I'm still in bed, right? So that's one of the things that we want to really talk about today. Next thing is, where did we leave out? Sorry. Okay. So we're gonna do the perfect triangle. So has anybody ever done the perfect triangle with us? It was funny is I developed that, like we developed this after that event, the do what you love in the service of the people that love what you do event, right? And the way we did it is every business coach out there always talks about two things when you're coming up with a niche. Who are the people that it's really easy to get them results? I'm just curious. You can drop it down in the in the chat of like who are the people that it's just so easy for you to get results. Like if they called you in the middle of the night, you're half asleep, and you could just give them like one word or one sentence, and then they would just be off to the races. And you have a complete transformation. Everything is like new for them. Everything is freaking like boom, right? And like that's like what they tell you. That person, and then the person that has a boatload of money, right? And I'll do this a little different than I've done it before. I'll put profit over here. So the person that has a ton of money, right? It's the person that you can get really easy results for, because if you can get really easy results, you can it's much easier to package that into something that is consistent and gets great results for people, right? Then the people that have the money, the people that won't blink at spending 2, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever dollars to solve the problem that you solve. Right. And we'll get into the problem that you solve here in a bit, but we're going to just talk about what you're currently doing. Who are the people that you get the biggest impact for?
An objection I hear a lot is, yeah, but I want to help like the single mom, or I want to help like the people. Awesome. Let's make your business a lot of money, and then you can contribute to a nonprofit or be able to help those women.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Papa, Tim, he was here when we got started. We worked with him 2, 3 years ago. He was doing like, pay me whatever you can. Like if it's $60 you got, pay me that. If it's $250, you pay that. And he was just doing per session. And he was making like $2,000, maybe $1,500 a month. And I remember when we taught him all the things that you're going to learn in this, or a lot of the things that you're going to learn in this masterclass, he was able to create a program and kind of narrow his niche down to the very specific person and very specific result. And he was able to fill 10 spots, actually 9 spots in like a week. Right. And what he did is he filled the paying spots, $1,200 each spot. And then the 10th spot he gave away to a veteran. So that was his way of giving back. So the more success he got, the more veterans he could help for free. And that's how he was able to give back. We have another client. She works with people with trauma, nurses specifically. And so she takes a percentage of her profits and gives it to women that are been trafficked. And I believe she actually gives her time too. And so it's like she's able to give back money. We give a percentage of our profit to Operation Underground Railroad. We also give it to a thing called Souls for Grace, a nonprofit that gives shoes to people in Africa and kids in Africa.
I mean, people, but kids.
Mainly. Yeah, mainly kids. So it's the more money you can make when you can make your business in sync with some sort of giving. If you're a giving person, you can just shift that mindset to like, okay, I just need to make more money and then I can give more money.
There is a big correlation of the give and receive balance, right?
So is everybody sold on we should make a bunch of money? And we should work with people that have money to pay us, and we should
not to shit on us, but
create our niche with people that have money. I just want to make sure everybody's on the page. Delay.
Can I keep talking?
Yeah, go.
Or can I finish this? Yes. Okay. So you have the impact, something that comes very naturally for you. They have the money. But remember in the beginning when we shared our story.
4 people are sold. We got 9 more people to be sold on this idea.
When we shared our story, it was do what you love in the service of people who love what you do. Man, I'm telling you, that is a formula that will transform everything. You want to wake up fulfilled and absolutely love and be fired up about what it is you do. It's the people, right? So who is it that you absolutely love? You know why I love coaches? I tell you. I'm looking at the impact, but hopefully you can see me in this little square. I love working with you guys because of your growth mindset. You are always out to do the inner work within yourself. You know that you're here to transform people. I can speak the language. I go and I talk to people at the grocery store. They're like, who are you? What planet did you come from? Like, I get coaches. I'm a coach. Like, I have the heart, right? So I wake up and I know that you have a calling and that you have this vision. And when you go to do all of the things that you think that you want to do, but then they're not working. And then you're wondering if like, is this even what I'm supposed to do? And start questioning yourself. And I'm here to tell you, yes, right? It just takes a strategy that's in alignment to who you are. It takes doing what you love in the service of people who love what you do. You will wake up every day excited. I'll say like 99%, you're still human, right? But then when those days that you don't feel like doing it, you know your stuff so well. I had a good insight earlier of like, you're not always going to wake up like, oh my gosh, I just want to do this so bad, right? Our energy is an ever flow of that's how things work. But when you're in the flow, you're just like, yes, I love this. This is amazing. And then when you have those days where maybe you're feeling off, you have the logic side that can then kick in where it doesn't matter how you're feeling because you know what these people need because you know them inside and out. You are them, you get them, you love them, and you can still work even when you don't feel like it. And that is a secret over the last year. I've really had to, like, not even last year, last few years, I really had to like get over myself of like, oh, but my energy isn't right. I had a phase, right? And it's okay. The energy wasn't there, so I guess I just should wait a day. He's so proud of me. Now I'm like, no, like I am out to impact coaches who know they have a calling and I don't feel like it. Awesome. What is it that Lorna needs? What does Don need today? How can I speak into them? What can I do to just serve them? It's not about me and what I want or what I like or what I feel like. Right? When you have this love piece, it transforms everything. It transforms how you show up. It transforms how you speak to people. People feel it. They feel it. Right. So it's not just about the impact of what's easy and that people have money to pay you. If it were that easy, everybody would be rich. It's not that. It's like you got to have this love piece in you. It drives everything. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So, all right. So this is what you want to do is you want to draw, everybody have a pen and piece of paper. Go ahead and write down who are make a list of people that you can make the biggest impact with, right? So that's the starting point. So you're just gonna brain dump all the and if you already niche down to a certain point, start where you are because you can always go further, right? It's everybody's like, oh, I have a niche. And they'll be like, I help people with anxiety and stress. I'm like, if you're like your I help statement has people in it, then you are not actually niched. Because people is not a niche. People is like
People.
the broadest of all the things. You help business moms, you help entrepreneurial dads, you help middle-aged you like
Well, we just got off with one of our past clients doing a podcast interview. He works with high achieving Christian men,
there you go.
right? Like it's a different conversation. Okay, I'll come help you. So I'm gonna let you do.
Awesome. All right.
shall
So
return.
go ahead and write what you're coming up with in the chat. This is a two-way conversation here.
Okay.
Come on. I popped the bubble.
You did a great job.
Spiritual songwriters and musicians. Awesome. So JJ, how can you, so that's where you're starting. How can we narrow that? If you look at the ones that you've gotten better results with, where were they at? Start trying to narrow that down. Then, all right, after you've gotten your list of all your people that you could help or like the narrowing of the situation, you're gonna narrow even more. You're gonna narrow into love. And this goes from who they are to like more of like a psychographic, meaning love is like driven, it's motivated, it's open-minded, it's coachable, it might be who they are in the sense is like impact for us. It could have been, we could help pretty much any businesses, right? We could help coaches is a list of them, but we don't like love every business. So we narrow by into coaches. We could have worked with speakers. We could help speakers actually create that. We could focus just speakers. I mean, if anybody speaks here, it's great, but it's not a business, it's a lead gen strategy. Speaking is a lead gen strategy to get people into your coaching business. It's not a what do you call it? It's not a business. You can make some money, but it's more of like a hustle. Like there's really like the top 1% of speakers that don't sell something or lead gen or offer something. they don't make great money, right? I think like top end, you're looking at like $100,000 to do a keynote, maybe even I'm trying to think. Myron Gold, he is one of the probably like the top ones that I know of, and he also makes money from his stuff. Is like 300K. That's with his hiring, paying for his jet and all this stuff. So you could probably go maybe $1 million at the best speaker, like for a thing, right? It's good, but if you look at the coaching businesses, like top end coaching businesses, it doesn't even compare. So that's my rant for the moment. If they have something on the back end, and most speakers, if they're smart, they do. Nobody's just kind of out there speaking for money. So now you're narrowing down to love, the people that you love to work with. Then you're narrowing down to profit, who actually has the money to pay you. Now some of these narrows could look like focusing on entrepreneurial mindset or business owner. So if you're like working with, so up here it could be like moms, it could be corporate, corporate executives, it could be whatever. And then love is like somebody that's open-minded and whatever. And then this could be, moms that are business owners, mom that are corporate executives, moms that are dads or whatever. You know what I mean? So we're getting figuring out people that are your niche that also make money that can pay you. So is this helpful? Is anybody like, I'm not sure, questions? We're just gonna keep rolling. Helpful, good.
Perfect. So step 2, and I'm back. So now that you know who this person is, oh, bless you.
Thanks.
Now you want to get clear on the results that you get for them. And I'm up here reading, there's little paragraphs here. So chief solutionist. I teach people how to harness a new, unique, sacred geometry movement modality that helps to release stress and unwanted feelings and also lift your energy to a more positive vibration, amplify intentions for healing and manifestation. Also, you can create it and live your best life. That's awesome. And I would say, like, what does that do? So let's talk about the outcomes, right? So ultimately what we're doing here is we're helping you create your messaging, which is also the basis of all of the content that you create. So your content is really your message alive in action. There's you have to hone your messaging. Well, really what that means is it's not just the tagline, it's what people know you for. It's it's the content that you create. It's ultimately you become the master in that particular area.
Yep.
So do you want to do
We
try-
talked about this. We were doing.
Oh, did you do it while I was gone? Oh.
No, I'm saying like I forget what we're drawing for this one.
Oh, I don't know. The triangle would probably work too.
Okay.
It's really the same. I'm like, you probably just keep it, right? So it really is
So is this
similar.
like this purpose triangle, so it's really okay. So what you really want to look at here is you want to look at what results, like real world results that you help people get, right? So it's like the real.
So here's the thing about coaches, and this is another reason why I love you, is we go deep. And I'm gonna say this, me too. Like, I don't want that surface level stuff. I don't care. Like, let's go deep. Like, I could talk to you about my seizures and the trauma and all of the things because you can go deep fast. Well, a lot of people can't necessarily go deep fast. And so when they hear, like, a lot of times we want to get these beautiful words that just flow and sound magical and mystical and amazing. And we got to bring it up a notch so that we can start attracting people, right? I'm going to show you this process here in a few minutes of what it looks like to bring people, like new people in your world that don't know you, to ultimately decide that you're the person for them. How you do that is you've got to have the surface level. We're going to go from 5D, like we're gonna say that you guys, I'm gonna talk dimensionally, and I just believe that you guys are all powerful, incredible people that are gonna get it. So that you have this like 5D, this fifth dimensional, like I help you like release all of
Transcend.
yeah, that's a good one. Like transcend and live the life that you've always been purposed for. Find your purpose, right? But ultimately, like, what's that going to give them? And what's that going to give them? Like, you have to get to the surface level of like, what is it that they really feel that is blocking them in their life? And what is it that they really want in their life that you can fill the gap with? And you have to speak to that.
Yeah.
You can go deep. There's going to be a time and a place for that. I promise.
Yeah. So anybody here ever heard that like give them like sell them what they want and then give them what they need? Yeah, give them what they need. Well, we want to actually sell them what they want and give them what they want and give them what they need. Right? So we're going to give them both. Because this is the thing, it's like we need to connect what we do for people to what they want. But this is the biggest mistake. Like you guys need to really pay attention to this because it's like this is the biggest thing. It's like coaches get this like what we want for people. And we get all righteous of like you want this, you want enlightenment, you want to be whatever, right? Like it's like you need this thing in your life, and it's like we're trying to sell the thing that we learned instead of connecting the dots of what that thing could actually get them that they actually give a shit about, right?
Yeah, so this came into play, like, so just, I'll just use my own personal experience. So, the modalities, right? We want to get caught up in the modalities. I have this amazing modality. And so for me, and I'm sharing this because I went through it myself. So I did, so some of the modalities were soul realignment and cellular alignment. I'm big on alignment, right? So if I went and I led with like, we could do a soul alignment lead realignment reading, and then we can do a cellular alignment, and a lot of I might get a few people, right? A few people that would be like, oh, that sounds cool. But what would happen is like, what is that? And they get more interested. I hear you.
Mhm.
They get more interested in the modality of what you can do, like what the modality is, rather than what you can do to help them with what their problem is. Right. I used to do Akashic records. Like I've done hundreds of Akashic readings. And I would hear, as soon as someone would get, if I led with like the Akashics and the quantum field and all of this stuff, people would instantly be like, oh, what's that? Not the, oh, we can discover what our soul gifts are. We can live in alignment with who you really are. You can create from this space that is fulfilled within yourself. You can go off and
Even that's a little fluffy. Oh my God.
sure.
But
And
yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like people,
and we don't lead with that.
yeah, people pay money when you can get them out of pain and get them into where they want to go faster. So when so if you'll see this in a lot of our copy, it's like, so you can, right? So you can. So it's like, so you can is this is why you give a shit. Like if you ever see us say like, so you can, this is why you actually care about this thing. So it's like we help you create your impact marketing system so you can create consistent lead gen of clients, of potential clients. It's like when you can connect the thing that you do to the thing they actually want and they've told you they want and they're willing to pay for, that's when you can start making real money and start making the real impact.
Yeah. So that work, the modalities and stuff, if you see it, like it's in the model and we totally do it. We're actually going to do some work on day 3 around, the alignment piece and the nervous system regulation type piece, but we lead with, also we're very good at getting clients and putting programs together. And this was a piece, like these are our 3 areas. We're going to talk about that tomorrow of your pillars in your program and the areas, right? But so you can, that's fantastic. That will ultimately just be the bridge. So speaking of bridges, let's talk about how you bridge people over. Like I recognize we said an hour. We just gotta give it an hour and a half just because. So this is ultimately what your journey looks like. So you are the lighthouse. See how good I am. Here's your light. And your job is to be a guide and guide people, right, to transformation. Here, ultimately, this is a bridge.
Not bad.
Yeah, right. And these people have no idea who you are. And there's really three different sections to this bridge. Ultimately, what you want to do is you want to be that guide where they are like, oh, wow, look at this bright light. They can get me to where I want to go. So your content is going to, your job is to get people from, we'll say, oh, I was doing so good. Cold, not knowing who you are, never seeing you before, to keep walking through to your bridge. And this is where you can start getting deeper in your messaging. So we go a little surface level problems and aspirations on the cold, like what can you do for me? Like you have what I need, give me something that I need to help me. Then I'll get into your world a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's funny, people always say, I want to attract hot clients or hot prospects, right? Hot potential clients. The truth is, there's very, very little hot prospects. Now, there's people that are more closer to wanting to buy what you offer than they're like, you know, than other people, right? But there's so much a smaller amount of them, then it's like very, very small, like only maybe like a 1 to 3% of the people that join your, say, Facebook group or start following you or whatever are actually ready to buy something from you. And and this is the thing, a lot of people, what they do is they treat every single person as somebody that's ready to buy right now. And there's no process to warm them. There's no process to nurture them. There's no process to bring them through anything. They're basically just dropping the offer on their head and they're just hoping that somebody buys. And this is the thing, if there's no rapport, I'm curious, who's here has been following us more than a year? Who's been maybe more than 2 years? And I'm curious, and then there's some people on here that maybe I've just started following us. Good evening. What's up, David? So Don, I know you've been following us for a few years. Still hasn't joined our program.
Yeah.
We're just, yeah, right. It's like
Cool.
it's gonna happen, right?
And
It's
I
like
freaking love that he's here.
5 more trainings and he's in. No. But this is the thing, it's like he's just it's just waiting for that time for it to be right and for him to go, right? And then he'll be all in and it'll be exciting. And we'll like pop the champagne and all the things, right? And so, yeah, Sherry, 2 years. So this is the thing, it's like you don't really attract the hot people. You farm them, right? This is like a farming thing. Like it's like you're planting the seeds with your content with cold and then warming them through hot and then giving them like, if you ever see our posts like case study or we're looking for 5 people, that's our hot. That gets people to just say, hey, like, are you ready? Right? Are you excited? Are you ready to go? Like hands up. Are you off the couch? Right?
So let's talk about these a little bit. So cold, these are the people who don't know you. They've never seen you before. A good place for cold is, this could be in other people's Facebook groups, although we're never spamming other people's groups. We're getting to know people and building relationships in other people's groups. This could be in your shorts, so your short videos or reels, if you do those. Those are really the two main, if you're on YouTube, people who've watched your video for the first time, these are your cold audience. The way you speak to your cold audience is much different than the way, right? Like we could never go to someone who's been, this is the first time on their webinar and talk to them the way that Chad just talked to Don. Like that was a hot conversation. We know you, you know us, we've been in each other's worlds. Now it's just about the time, right? Chad would never say that to somebody who just came in ever, right? There's two different ways that you talk to people. Even like when you meet someone for the first time, it's like, hello, nice to meet you. However, I don't think you ever say that. But it's different than like when you go see your best friend, like, hey, what's up? Like it's even a different tone. So it's not that it's not or inauthentic or anything. It's just you're just getting to know someone. So this could be giving really little pieces of information where people see that you are an authority and a leader in your industry and they want to follow you and see what else you have going on. This could be where you give them like some sort of free training or a lead magnet. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes it's just getting them on your friend list and that's enough. Like we're not trying to push anybody. This is a very natural, they got to get across the bridge on their own time, right? But the key is to always get people to start coming, walking across your bridge. So where is the cold people coming from? Are you growing your audience every day with cold people? Awesome, Jessica, appreciate you. Tell your kiddos I said hi. And then are you warming them? So this is just what we're doing now. We're hanging out together. You're getting to know us. You're getting to know the process and the approach that we do. You know, this could be if you have a group, if you're going live, you're talking to in stories like happy Monday, like today, blah, 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 right? This starts going deeper into your beliefs, your values. When they're cold, they don't care. Like, and it's not to be mean or cold or anything, but like, they're cold. So they don't care. So in order for them to care, they got to be into your warm or your hot. Then they start caring. You're warm, you start talking about your values. You know, we talked about Charlie's in here. Our values are family. Our values are integrity. Our values are transformation, right? So you speak about your values as you share value and you'll start attracting your ideal people to you. And then when people start seeing like, oh, wow, they really know what they're talking about. Wow, they have a whole process. Like, hold on, let me see. Like, so your light is drawing them in this process.
Yeah.
So Sherry, I would even say like what you do is self-value and worth their like trauma recover, security within their self moving forward. But what's that going to do for them? So you can what? Like, what is this cold message that ultimately what it is that they want?
Yeah.
So
It's
be
like,
thinking about that tonight.
I think Zig Ziglar said something like, people don't give a shit about you until you give a shit about them or something of that nature.
I don't know if it quite went like that, but all right. So I want to wrap this up because we did say an hour and I just acknowledged that we were 5 minutes over. But was this valuable? You guys getting some ideas about your messaging, how to start bringing people in and start warming them up through your content so that you have a hot audience? I hope high-end spiritual songwriters who make an impact overcome overwhelming procrastination so you can build devoted following and raise thousands of dollars. Yeah, you may even be able to shorten that a little bit.
You can definitely shorten that.
Yep.
I guess high end, you get to maybe there's a better terminology for that, JJ, in the sense that like I don't know if they would refer to themselves as high end or like who would, I guess is how can you define them in a way that they would define themselves? So something to think about. Cool. Was this valuable? Don, could you drop the link in again in the chat? I appreciate you for
Appreciate
being
you, Don. Thank
link
you.
master.
Link master. All right, awesome. So everyone here, hold on, let me get my cool hat. You are going to get your name put in this hat on day 3. We are going to do a drawing tonight. Be thinking about like what are the so you cans, right? To start taking some of the inward stuff. How do you take the inner work so that they can get results in their outer world? Because people will pay money for the outer world results, and it will start because ultimately we know that it starts within us, and doing the inner work is going to start transforming our outer world. But our clients don't necessarily know that yet, right? So be thinking about the so you cans. Tomorrow we're going to be talking, we're going to start really getting all of your genius and modalities together. We're going to start kind of brain dumping and creating the program. This has been amazing. So how long is a webinar? It's actually just wrapping up, but there will be a replay available. So I appreciate all of you guys. Again, Don just dropped that link. If you're like, heck yeah, this was great. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can help you in any way. By all means, book that call. We would love to have that conversation
Yep.
and see what's there.
And
All right.
JJ, I'll see you what, Wednesday or so.
This is gonna be the last time I can wear this hat. It is pretty pimp though, right?
Cool.
All right, guys, thank you so
Tomorrow,
much. We
okay.
will see you tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern. And until then, have an amazing day.
Bye.